tonight is part of the people that we're going to put our trust in to take Scotland forward, to be one of the best nations in the world. We already know that it is in our hearts, but we need the rest of the world to recognise us. As an independent nation, let's have our flag flying outside the United Nations alongside every other free nation in the world. Could you welcome, please, Fiona Hyslop.
I'm just so moved by what Alicia has just said, because it's such an honour to be here, to stand where we stand at the Stirling Bridge, to remember, as you've remembered, the Battle of Stirling Bridge and the role of William Wallace and Andrew de Murray, and to feel that responsibility, for what we do next and what we do over the next few months and weeks ahead to 2014. And what a privilege it is that we have a generation that will be able to choose their own future, to have that freedom if they choose to do so in an independence referendum without the need for any cause of difficulty, of conflict, in a civilised way. And what a responsibility it is for all of us who remember to take that forward in a way that achieves that freedom for Scotland. And I particularly wanted to come and represent the government, your government, at this event, to also thank the William Wallace Society and the Wallace Society for what it's done over a number of years, but not least in its campaign to see the return of the Wallace letter. Now, this weekend sees the end of the exhibition. I hope you've been able to see it at the Scottish Parliament. It's called Special Delivery, and it shows the two letters side by side. The Lebec letter, which was written shortly after the Battle of Stirling Bridge, and the Wallace letter. And of course we heard the song about the spirit coming home, Wallace's spirit coming home. And I'm very pleased that in terms of what the Wallace Society has done in campaigning for the letter to come home, I'm delighted to have been the minister who delivered the letter back to Scotland for that exhibition and to see it shown in the Scottish Parliament. And of course the Lebec letter was very, very important, because the Lebec letter showed a part of Scotland that was so important. Imagine, they've just won the battle, and one of the first things that they do is to write a letter to the people of Lebec to say Scotland is open for business. International, outward looking, wanting to drive and see Scotland's economy go forward. And that's the mark of the men. And we also stand not only here during this period with that letter as shown in the Parliament, but in the week where the First Minister announced that in the legislative programme this year we'd have the referendum for independence for Scotland. And in terms of where we go now, what an opportunity for the diplomacy that was shown in 1297 when Andrew de Murray and William Wallace wrote that letter to the people of Lebec. The diplomacy that was shown then, the international discussions. Imagine standing, we can stand as equal nations with peoples across the world in the future if we secure that yes vote. But in terms of what we do, in the terms of the responsibility, we have to have a passion in our hearts. And we have to have the spirit of freedom in our lungs. And we have to shout, and we have to campaign, yes, but we have to persuade. And that's what we'll be doing over the coming period. And in terms, I think, of what we do, in the terms of what you've done in the commemoration, remembering is so, so important. And I just want to reflect particularly on the speech about Andrew de Murray. A few years ago, our children would not have had to sit any examination in Scottish history to get their higher history. This year my daughter sat her history, she passed, thank goodness, but she studied William Wallace and Andrew de Murray, and she said, why do people not know more about Andrew de Murray? And I'm delighted that with the statue and with the work of our colleagues in the north, that the memory of Andrew de Murray will be raised and understood across this land. And that's why also I wanted to come and to give my support to you at this time, particularly because you want to raise the money for the statue, and I wish you well in your work in doing that. But freedom is a very, very precious thing. Hold it softly, care for it, nurture it. So I agree with Ted. This is not going to be the end, but it's going to be the beginning of the dream that the men that we commemorate tonight fought for and lost their lives for.
Could I just ask Duncan up once again, who would like to make a presentation to Fiona on behalf of the Wallace Society?
This is a handcrafted stick by one of our members, Tom Chalmers. I'd like to present it to you on behalf of the Society. Thank you.